Well, folks, welcome back. Today is Sunday, I believe the 22nd. As you can see, we're losing a lot of our snow. Over half of it is melted now, and everything is ice everywhere. We had 2 days of non-stop rain. I don't know how much rain we got, but everything is nice and icy now. It is above freezing, but not by much. So yeah, I was just gonna make a little update video here quick of what's going on and what things are looking like. I need to walk out here and move a wire that's possibly shorting out, one of my gate wires. When the cows walk through there, they hit it with their tail and end up bumping it on another wire. I guess what I want, I got a question for you guys, any of you that finish steers. It's been a topic of raising steers on like in confinement versus finishing steers on a pasture. Wondering if any of you out there, I know a couple of you that finish steers in confinement. Wondering if anybody has any idea on finishing steers on pasture, and not necessarily grass finished, just rotationally grazed steers that are still giving grain. There's a couple guys in the area that do both ways, and the thing I was watching the other day, it's hard to always take for word what you hear in like a conference, because depending on what type of conference it is, it can be a little biased. No, and actually it's not shorting out. A lot of times the cows come around this corner and they hit their tail on this and they tip it over, and then it can start shorting out. But you can see the cows out there. You got a bale of hay right there and a corn stalk bale up there, and they're out there doing their thing. You can see all along there where they had been fed. So anyways, back to the thing there. Just wondering if anybody has any experience either way. Just something I was watching and just kind of looking for input from other sources other than the source that I got the information from. Like I say, with me, I rotationally graze, but with the steers, I always grained them, and in the past, I always had ground cob corn. But now that we got the combine and we are doing more shell corn, I'm just curious if there's anybody else that does it that way. Rotational graze, or even if they're just out on pasture and they grain them out there instead of having them stuck in a lot like this. I know a certain person that has a fairly large pasture, and they were always raising Holsteins and finishing them, and they always had a steer stuffer, and he was always having issues with bloat. And I'm just kind of curious if the issue is, being he doesn't really limit the amount of grain they get. You know, and you're giving them whole shell corn with pellets, and then they have free choice on all the grass they want. I can see that being an issue. But if a guy limits their amount of grain per day and then rotational graze, just kind of curious, you know, if anybody else has done that, what kind of luck they've had. I have the option to rent some pasture ground, which is improved pasture. A lot of alfalfa and clover with orchard grass, smooth brome grass, and some ryegrass in it. Looks like, you know, it should be really good forage, high protein forage. So I'm just kind of curious, you know, before I decide one way or the other if I wanted to rent this pasture. The only thing I have to put on would be steers. So kind of curious to that, and the animals I'm thinking about putting on there would be my 8 steers that I have here. You know, putting them on, then rotational graze them, and my pig farming buddy, I might try and buy his. He has 7 calves from last year left that he didn't sell to the guy that buys them direct and then finishes them out. I was kind of curious, maybe buy them from him too, because the pasture is a lot bigger than what my 8 steers need. And if I put his 7 with him, I'm getting closer to being stocked the way it would need to be. But like I say, just curious then if anybody else has any info on that, because like I say, the thing I was watching could be a little biased, and I don't want to say which way it could be biased towards, but I just want to leave it at that and see what everybody has to say. So any information or thoughts would be great. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.